So I was just hands-on with all of Tudor's new watches back in Geneva. There were some standout pieces for me, some disappointments, and my mind has changed on a couple things. Let's start with where my mind is changing. When I first saw the Tudor Monarch, I felt pretty meh about it. As most people watching this will probably already know, 2026 marks the 100-year anniversary of Tudor. The brand name was first registered in 1926, and this was meant to be the big celebration piece. I wouldn't say it fell flat, I just didn't love it. Or at least I didn't until I saw it in the metal. I still wouldn't say I love it. It's almost like a highlight reel of historical models displayed in one watch. The Monarch isn't a new name, first appearing in 1991, and positioned as a blend of luxury and utility. Everything with this watch was a wink to the past, but in order to do that, they had to make a bunch of completely new stuff. The case is new. It's a new shape, inspired by the cases of the 1920s to about the mid-century, the papyrus tone dial with a brushed effect, and the error-proof dial display, or California dial, from the 1940s, which hasn't been seen on a Tudor watch since the 2000s. Every decade of Tudor seems to be here. It's a tribute to their heritage, executed in a very modern way. As time goes on, I'm adjusting to the design and I'm warming to it. The small seconds was weird to see, very weird from them, but it fills the negative space in a nice way. Powered by the MT5662-2U self-winding movement, COSC and METAS certified, and received more traditional decoration than Tudor usually does, with the Côte de Genève on the bridges, perlage on the main plate, and an 18-karat gold inlay on the rotor. It really won me over on wrist. The bracelet almost melts to you. It falls in this really great way, wraps to the wrist. The size is great. Pretty thin wearing experience. I have been won over. On the opposite end of the spectrum, let's talk about the Black Bay 54. I went into the appointment already loving the bright blue Black Bay 54, and I left feeling a bit cold. Blue is a color Tudor usually does very well. The Black Bay 58, Pelagus, they have a specific flavor of blue. Everything about this model is the same from the pre-existing 54, but a sapphire blue sunburst finish with lacquer then applied, blue bezel to match, and a light blue dial text. Everything about this, so all of the specifications, are the same as the pre-existing 54, but it's just a color change. A sapphire blue sunburst finish with lacquer then applied, blue bezel to match, and a light blue dial text. I am very familiar with the Black Bay 54. I own one, which will absolutely influence how I feel about this. I really wish they opted for a flat blue dial, slightly less indigo, and more classic Tudor blue. I think what Tudor does well is robust feeling tool watches, and I wish they leaned a bit more sporty than flash, but I'd be curious to see if you guys agree or disagree. Let's talk about another model I'm pretty familiar with. I think most people watching this will be as well, the Black Bay 58. This year it receives quite a few changes that sound small on the surface, but put together make a big impact, like a noticeable impact. The big headlines are new bracelet, now available on 5-link, finally the T-Fit clasp, yes, the upgrade it desperately needed, METAS certification, a more robust movement testing, every Tudor watch will be master chronometer going forward, which now means the dial only has 2 lines of text. Slightly thinner from 11.9 millimeters to 11.7 millimeters. Speaking to the thickness, I thought it was such a tiny number, who would ever notice that? But if you are someone who is familiar with this watch, if you own one, wear one, you can feel it. It's not a shock to the system, but it's all these little design changes adding up to something that feels tangibly more refined. If you are someone who's in the market to buy the Black Bay 58 and maybe you're thinking, maybe I'll hold out, will they add something new to it? I don't see how it gets any better than this. Moving on, the Tudor Royal. This is a model family I've never fully loved. It felt like a collection with heaps of possibility. It's a style of watch a lot of people are looking for. A chic, elevated sports watch, integrated bracelet, but it didn't have the manufacturer caliber, and it needed just a little bit of tightening up in the design department. And, well, this is exactly what they've done. Now fitted with the manufacturer caliber MT5201, 5412, and 5633 depending on size, tolerances of -2 + 4 seconds per day on the MT5633, and -3 + 5 on the smaller diameter models. Sharply cut bezel, new color variety, new sizes in 40, 36, and 30 millimeters, and an integrated bracelet with satin brush and polished surfaces. If you told me 4 weeks ago that my favorite Tudor novelty was going to be a Royal 30 millimeters S&G, I would have said you lost your mind. But here we are, and my attitude has changed completely. The price is also noteworthy, starting at £2,540, going up to $2,870 if we're staying in stainless steel. And I think that's very well priced. A really good value proposition and entry point into Tudor. Anyways, guys, these are just some of my thoughts after being hands-on with all of their novelties. This was just an overview, but if there's any model you want to see a whole dedicated video about, you think it needs more love, more screen time, let me know in the comments down below. We can make it happen. Thank you so much for your viewership. Thank you, just to everyone who watched to the end. That's way too kind. And thank you to the Pope tier patrons. Aw yeah, get their names on the screen.